I want to say that I think that we as a society, we don't talk enough about how much our thoughts and how much our words that we say to ourselves really, how much of an impact that alone makes, and that's excluding uh, habits and activities. Um, thing is, like, you are what you think, and
200 meters.
I first
Turn
want
left.
to say that it is
Turn
very
left.
important to
In 200 meters,
understand
turn sharp right.
the difference
Turn sharp right.
between being positive and just blatantly lying. You know, one extreme example would be that, let's say a fat person starts to tell themselves and others that
400
they
meters.
are
Turn left.
healthy, that they look great, but they don't put any action into making those words a reality,
Turn left.
which means that their life and habits are still a huge mess. You know that they still eat shit, they still
You have
sit
arrived
at
at your
home,
destination.
uh, they don't exercise, right? Essentially, it's all just talk without any action. So it's really important that
Wow,
each of
that's
us
generous.
has
Well,
this
that's the spirit
sense
of
of
Horizon, isn't it? Shall we send a
reality
thank you?
where we still need to put in the work, and we need to understand that. But uh, there are certainly moments where we may work on ourselves hard. It doesn't matter what that is, but if we keep thinking in this negative thoughts cycle where, let's say, for me, I would, you know, work out, track what I eat, but if I keep saying that I'm not enough, that I'm still far from my goal, that I'm like constantly messing up or doing something wrong. Well, if I keep that up, then I'm not gonna succeed shit. It's gonna haunt me, and regardless if I reach or don't reach my goal, I'm still gonna feel like shit and like I'm far from the goal itself, or I just will feel like I did not accomplish shit. And I recently realized that so hard because I have an eating disorder, mainly because I kept feeding not just myself, but my thoughts about food. No matter how big of a meal I would eat, I would keep thinking about food, and I would think like, man, I should not be eating this much of this at once and then eating right after. But I kept eating anyway because I kept thinking about it. You see, you 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 have to starve these thoughts. You know, same thing with lust. You need to starve it. You may fail, but you need to starve it so hard that you will essentially, eventually, stop thinking about it, since your life just contains less and less and less of it. So same thing with food. If I just occupy myself more, and if I just delay uh, eating uh, s- sometimes, then eventually I just won't have as much trouble, since my life will contain less and less of those said things. Excuse me. And that's a big realization. I- It is because all these years I just kept ignoring the idea that, well, I need to force change my thinking, not just my actions. So if I hated myself from every aspect and I started to do certain activities, I would not hate myself from those aspects. But my mind was always behind, and no matter how much I would push on those activities, my mind was still never really there to begin with. Which is why now, years later, I'm only now recognizing these problems and actually trying to fix them. So, for me, the objective now is, well, specifically for this eating disorder thing, I need to attempt to eat more throughout the day in volume, because no, in frequency, because the volume of my meals is always huge. It's just a habit, and then there's also this propaganda that, well, if you want to grow, you need to make your meals bigger. That's not necessarily true. It also depends on calories anyway, and I guess the macros as well. But the reason why that's a good thing for me to do is because, well, I won't need to think about food as much. And even if I do, since I eat smaller meals, I can just eat again sooner. I won't have to compensate for nothing. I won't have to force myself to do something for longer than I want to, just so I would not eat again. Hope that makes sense. It's actually a scientifically approved method, or one of the methods to help eating disorders, especially with things like binge eating, which I have a problem with. And speaking of it, another step is to just kind of force delay. So whenever I feel bored, I usually tend to think about food, like right away. And so that would lead me to binge eating or just overeating anything. And it doesn't even have to be like junk food. And you would start like set a timer for like 10 15 minutes, and you would just not eat. You would pick up an activity like something, even a short walk, and you would wait it out. And it's shown that that helps. Even if you still end up eating, you won't end up eating as much as to mm, mm, compared to if you did not delay the episode of binge eating. So that's actually I did like half an hour ago, especially since I already ate a bunch. And right now, as I'm recording this video, I can tell that I just I don't need to eat. I may want to, in a sense of like I just love eating, but I don't need to, and I don't want it bad enough to like to make it seem like I'm starving. I'm not starving. I'm fine. I ate a big meal like almost hour and a half ago. So what is this all about? I don't understand. Why do I have these problems? But I do them. I do have them, and I'm trying to fix them. And uh, this is a huge mind game, which is why I'm making this video to get some things off my chest. That the things you say to yourself, the things you think, they have a huge impact on your life outside. Whether it's eating, whether it's relationships, just you being social or antisocial, it it correlates with your success. So if I keep telling myself that I'm not doing enough, or that I'm lazy and I'm just half-assing it, which sometimes is true, it's good to admit that, but holy shit, that's beautiful. Fucking okay, I'm sorry. It's good to admit that, but what is he doing? But it's also not good to give into it too much, where it's all you think about. I mean, imagine working hard or on some things for the entire day, and that you keep thinking that you could have and should have done more and things like that. Is just toxic. I mean, imagine a relationship where you,
Okay, Austin. You've just challenged a driver to a
to where
head-to-head
your partner does
in 200 meters.
something for you, and you just keep telling them that it's like no, not and no, that is like it's it means basically nothing. Well, first of all, fuck you, but it's gonna affect the relationship whether you like it or not. Like, you don't talk like that to people, so why do you talk like that to yourself? You're not a
Okay, Austin.
machine without
Challenged a driver to a
feelings. Like,
head-to-head.
the things you feel, the things you say, I'm repeating myself
400 meters.
again, like, they have an impact, and you need to take care of that impact. It's not as hard as it seems. It's not as easy as I say, but it's not as hard as it seems. I mean, all you have to do is just bit by bit think differently. Whenever you have a bad intrusive thought, try your best to occupy yourself and ignore it. That does not mean to bottle negative emotions up. But what I mean is, if you have to, use them. Go to the gym and have a fucking insane workout, right? Use things that you have, whether they're positive or negative, and don't let them use you. Does that make sense? I think it does. I think it makes perfect sense, actually. Uh, but yeah, that's about it. I don't have much else to say or add. Uh, Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Maybe.